What is going on, guys? My name is TubbyEmu, and according to reports, Triple H is taking control of the company, one show at a time. And the reports now is he's taking over 205 Live from Vince McMahon. We're going to talk about it in this video because, brother, it's the Triple H takeover. Cheers. You know, you got to start the day right with a cup of coffee. It's just so good. So now let's talk about Triple H taking over 205 Live. It's no secret, obviously, Vince McMahon is the chairman of the board of WWE, and he's the guy that's the head of it. And I know there's a lot of reports saying that, you know, he buries talent, and then you got guys like Cody Rhodes stepping out and, like, defending it. Be like, no, guys get lazy, I got fat personally, and then people are like, no, that's a political answer. He's like, no, you bought a ticket, shut the heck up. Look at what WWE has done, and I've made other discussion videos, so go back and watch them. As we get ready to launch the new website, and I get ready to fight CM Punk because he's a little baby girl, you have to think about these things in life in terms of WWE is doing a lot of stuff right. And the Mixed Match Challenge, as much as at first I gawked about it, I watch it and I go, okay, you know what? I kind of dig the matches. With Rose Gold the other night, I really enjoyed it last night. I watched it. SmackDown, I really enjoyed the Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon thing where they're going back to his history. Now 205 Live with Triple H is kind of going to the roots that it was in the Cruiserweight Classic, focusing more on these highlight packages, more on the in-ring action, more, you know, he's bringing in those stars. You see the guys in the 205 Live tournament. You have Mandrews coming back, and you have, you know, Drake Maverick as the GM of 205 Live. And WWE at the same time is cut networking programming. And for those that, you know, haven't followed along the WWE Network, they were very adventurous with the WWE Network's programming. They went crazy. They made a lot of new shows that I think they invested in a lot of time, like the Edge and Christian show, which is one of my favorites, but it's one of those ones that it took a lot of time and effort, and now they're kind of focusing on ride-along, photo shoots, things that they can do quicker and better. And to me, and I know some fans may complain about this, but I don't mind that. Because the in-ring product, like NXT, is still there. They're signing more talent than ever. And it's true they cut Pyro and stuff to bring down the bottom line. But again, as much as I love Pyro and I want Pyro, I am cheering more for the superstars. So the more that, you know, Triple H, and I don't want to, this could just be a leaked rumor. This could just be like setting the mindset in people's idea that, okay, now I can enjoy 205 Live because I know Triple H is running it, but secretly he's not. Because I don't really care about that stuff. I care about the fact that they do care about 205 Live, and as a person that, you know, really only watches when I hear something really good about it, I love the fact that they're going in that direction, because I love that style of video that, you know, the Cruiserweight Classic had, building up the stories, letting the matches be told. You can have the high-flying action, but I need more to get me invested. I need more to get me to dive in. I need more. And 205 Live really didn't have that. It was kind of like the ECW reboot, where they, you know, they just kind of slapped the name on there and they're using the talent. Versus after what happened with losing Austin Aries and then the whole Neville debacle, and he who shall not be named, 205 Live really needs to, you know, focus. And for the first time, you're going to be crowning the champion at WrestleMania. Somebody they thought they shouldn't have been at WrestleMania is now no longer with the company. They should have been on the pre-show. And look, he's over as a champion in Impact Wrestling. So WWE right now, if Triple H has in fact taken over 205 Live, it gives this opportunity to reinvigorate the show. It gives you a chance to see a lot of these performers in the light that they should have been. A guy like Drake Maverick, who, if you guys don't watch Impact Wrestling, I mean, he was one of the better things about it. Like, he kind of brought it alive, and it was TNA Dixie who thanked Dixie Carter, and as much as people want to have your opinions, she was a huge integral part of that. Same thing with EC3. We all look at other companies and go, or, you know, make comments or say whatever, because, you know, when you're passionate about one thing, you may have opinions. But if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have a guy like Rockstar Spud that, you know, came from British Boot Camp, that out of nowhere, you know, EC3 had his career reinvigorated. So life outside of the WWE is possible. So when people make comments to Cody Rhodes like that, look at Drew McIntyre, look at EC3, look at Cody Rhodes' career resurgency. It happens outside of the WWE. And unfortunately, if you're only stuck in the WWE bubble, I think you have to start to realize that. But as more of these talents start to come into 205 Live, especially like with Tyler Bate or Pete Dunne, you know, people were talking about who's on there. They're like, if guys start going to 205 Live, it's going to be bad. And I'm like, no, it's really not. I do want a guy like Johnny Gargano on the main roster. I want on Raw or SmackDown, and I've made a video on this before a couple days ago, where yes, I want him on the main roster, but 205 Live is trying to tour. Well, what they've been doing in kind of that old-fashioned ECW style, where they just throw them out there on Tuesdays, you know, after SmackDown tapes, is not connecting with the fans. So even if Triple H isn't running it, wink, wink, bringing in that more feeling from the Cruiserweight Classic was a reason to get involved. For me, that was a reason to really dive in and be invested, because those backstage stories really help fans connect. If you casually watch 205 Live, if you're a casual fan, there's really nothing to grasp onto. I mean, like the no-fly zone, you're like, well, what is... But like, why? Like, it's awesome. I love the PowerPoints. I love Drew Gulak. The meme where he's like, he was meant to take the backbreaker. I think it was from Cedric Alexander. I love a lot of those guys on 205 Live, but you need to have something for me to really grasp onto, and starting to do more packages, doing the tournament, giving reasons to really, you know, fall in love or really invest in the characters is huge. Like, look at Elias Sampson, who really wasn't doing anything, and now look at where he's at. You know, I wish he would have just picked up his victory on Monday and maybe called it a day. But Braun, you know, is the face guy who's going out and high-fiving people. That's more character development. And it's the same thing with 205 Live. They just need that treatment. So whether it's Triple H or whether it's Vince McMahon, it really doesn't matter as long as the same principles apply. As long as you kind of give me something else to cheer for, which, you know, like I said, I love that high-flying action. It's the same thing when Johnny Gargano gave his interview on the podcast with Edge Christian, like talking about all his matches. You know, he's been doing this for 10 years, to the point where, you know, you don't ever think you have good matches. Like, he talked about his match with CN, and he's like, you know, that was a great spot, but I've been doing this stuff for 10 years, and it's like the crowd that really makes it fun. Well, 205 Live, the crowd really doesn't get in until late, because they really don't have a reason to, because WWE has kind of booked it in that fashion over the past year. But now, if they go down this route of kind of going back to the roots for Cruiserweight Classic, it's just that more patient approach that, unfortunately, you know, I've recognized now, and I realize, you know what, I may have to put up with some, you know, some stuff while they build in the background, or they finalize their plans. But so far, the things have paid off for me. Like, I can't tell you how happy I am that a lot of these guys are getting signed. If you look at NXT, it's a hotbed. If you look at what happened in the Royal Rumble, look at how many superstars were NXT made. How many people were made in system by people like Triple H. So the future for WWE is bright, and I think we often get caught up and be too negative. And that's, unfortunately to me, that's where I have a disconnect. Because I think for an audience, if I was out here talking about 205 Live, I would probably get more viewers if I was out here bashing it. But I'm not bashing it, you know, because it's a horribly produced show, because it's not. I'm not bashing it because the talent isn't good, because the talent is phenomenal. It's just, there's really no, like, meat and bones to really grasp onto, to really bite onto. So to go back to the roots of the Cruiserweight Classic is exactly what I think WWE needs to do. And I'm glad Triple H is recognizing that and pulling the trigger and going in that direction to do it. I mean, like I said, for all we know, it could just be the perception of a leaked rumor that it's in fact Triple H doing it, and it could be Vince. And at the end of the day, that's fine. It doesn't matter who's doing it as long as they're doing it. I think we get caught up too much in the details about whether Vince likes this, or this, because at the end of the day, guys, I think it doesn't matter. Like, that's wrestling. That figure of having Vince is like somebody to either blame or somebody to cheer is part of his genius, and that's part of the reason that, you know, he can take the scapegoat, because when that pop finally happens, he's the one backstage that orchestrated it. He's the one backstage that, you know, made it happen. And it kind of seems more and more like it's Triple H is that guy. It's like Triple H comes out and tells you about Braun Strowman and why he's doing enhancement talents. And, you know, people are like, blah, 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 it's bad. Why are you doing this? You should be doing this, or this. And now a year or two later, look at Braun Strowman. So clearly they have longer term plans, and I think we're just a little impatient. So what out of 205 Live would I love to see? I would love to see, you know, more 205 Live tours. I'd like to see these guys that dedicate their lives to this more high-flying, dedicated, fast-paced action. I want them to also get the story so fans can get involved in more than just what's going on in the ring, because the in-ring product is great, but connecting those casual fans, you may be missing some stuff. Just my personal opinion from talking to people that, you know, really don't watch WWE that often. Like, it's really cool what they're doing in the ring, but like, well, what am I watching for? You know what I mean? There's really nothing to grasp onto. So my thoughts on 205 Live, in all honesty, is whoever's controlling it, you're doing the right thing, and you're going in the right direction, especially trying to 205 Live tour, because, you know, they had to cancel it, and people made comments on it. You have Hideo Itami on there, and some people brought up Hideo Itami. Well, you know, the flip side of that is, you know, kind of like the Revival, unfortunately, injuries have derailed him. And if you have big plans for Hideo Itami, and, you know, maybe he gets injured, if you put him on the main roster, that's kind of an issue. But if it's on 205 Live, his name recognition kind of helps the show, and at the same time, you kind of mitigate your risks. So I'm excited for 205 Live. I want them to tour. I want them to have stuff to grasp onto. And I think 205 Live can definitely be a show that I could start watching. Now, the only thing I could say is there is a lot of WWE programming. And like I've repeatedly said, that third hour of Raw allows this kind of stuff to happen. It allows them to have money to play around with, to sign people, to get me invested. So WWE, this is your shot for me really to like fall in love with 205 Live. I don't need the exact format of Cruiserweight Classic. I don't need to like go back, you know, to like, it's only been a year or two, but like to live in that era, which I don't need it fully recreated. It's just the bang bang action that they do on 205 Live. Again, in-ring product is great. It's like watching PWG. I just wish there was like, you know, more to grasp onto, like Elias or Cena chasing it, or The Miz with his title. Like, give me that passion, give me that fire. And, you know, this can be due to time constraints or the amount of superstars they have. But at the end of the day, I think 205 Live is going in the right direction. I think this is a very smart move in my personal opinion. And my personal opinion probably doesn't mean a damn. But I'd love to know your guys' opinions and thoughts on this related to 205 Live. Are you a fan of 205 Live? Do you think they could use something else? Could you see other people getting signed? Could changes to the show when it airs, where it airs? Could that improve the show at all? I want to know your guys' honest opinions. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to get involved on social media. You can follow my Twitter at TubbyEmu. And, you know, really be a part of this kind of change where we just seriously discuss this, man. I'd love to. And I'd love to sit down with a lot of other YouTubers and, like, have these passionate discussions because, you know, some YouTubers are like, hold on one second. Oh, that coffee got a little bit cold. Like the muscles of somebody that I'm going to beat their... Okay, you know what? Stop. I got to stop bringing him up because, I mean, he's not responding. It's not like he could do anything anyway. But Triple H can do something with 205 Live. So, until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate this discussion. I seriously, I'm like reading your feedback. I'm reading what you guys are contributing, and I can't wait to see where this goes. Until next time, it's your boy TubbyEmu. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all later.